good news for you tonight. Women's sports are now the best sports. Michael Costa tries to get out of a speeding ticket, and Donald Trump has found an entirely new way to lose money. So let's get into the headlines. Let's kick things off with some news from the business world. Last week, Donald Trump's social media platform Truth Social went public with a value of $8 billion. Which seemed like a lot for a website whose business model is, what if Twitter was just Nazis? And guess what? Turns out it was.
Tonight, stock in Donald Trump's media company tanking after Trump's social media platform Truth Social reported losing $58 million last year. The company was valued at nearly $10 billion after it went public last week as Trump supporters rushed to scoop up shares.
Truth Social is doing very well. It's hot as a pistol and doing great.
But today, that rude awakening, the revelation of last year's losses sent the stock plunging more than 20% and the value of Trump's own stake losing more than $1 billion.
Yeah, Trump, you lost $1 billion yesterday. Now you're only worth $6 billion, you broke bitch. Oh. We got him, finally. Now, there's a bit of a disagreement over why the stock dropped so much. Analysts say it's because of huge losses and limited market upside, while Trump advisors argue it's because of woke, gay, trans, DEI, Hunter Biden's laptops. So who's to say? At this point, it just seems like Trump is trying to be in every section of the newspaper: finance, politics, style, city crime. It's only a matter of time until he drops a theater review. Just saw Wicked, total witch hunt. Let's move on to the fight. Yeah, you can clap for that, yes. Trump. Let's move on to the fight over abortion rights, where today Florida handed us a mixed bag.
Now to Florida, where the state Supreme Court just issued two major rulings on abortion rights.
Two major decisions. The Florida State Supreme Court has now cleared the way for one of the strictest abortion bans in the nation to go into effect. It bans abortion at just 6 weeks into pregnancy. But at the same time, that same state Supreme Court also allowing this issue to be on the ballot in November, allowing Florida voters to decide whether they want to protect access to abortion up until viability, which is considered to be around 24 weeks into pregnancy.
Florida, what is going on here? You're restricting abortion, but you're also putting it on the ballot? Pick a lane. These are some crazy mood swings. You better hope you're not pregnant. Look, a 6-week abortion ban is obviously a terrible setback for women's rights. But there is a small glimmer of hope in that the voters also have a chance to legalize abortion again, which is good news. And also depressing to be celebrating that as good news. But in this climate, I guess that's where we're at right now. I don't know whether I'm happy or not. I feel like Ron DeSantis' face. But hey, at least abortion is on the ballot. Finally, the people of Florida will be able to choose something besides community service or jail time. And that is something. That is something. Let's move on to sports. We're in the final stretch of March Madness, that special time of year that turns every office into an underground gambling ring. And last night, all eyes were on a rematch between two of the biggest stars in the tournament.
In GOAT fashion, Caitlin Clark led Iowa over defending champion LSU in a rematch of last year's final.
For anyone who questioned her greatness, Caitlin Clark had the answer. 41 points, 9 threes, 12 assists. A record-breaking masterpiece that lived up to the hype of a rematch in an epic battle of greats.
Clark steps back, fires, you bet! Oh my! From Schenectady! She's simply ridiculous. She's possessed.
This poor announcer, Caitlin Clark, hit so many big shots that the guy was clearly running out of things to say. She's ridiculous. She's possessed. She's a witch. Drown her. I don't know. But honestly, what an awesome rivalry. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two fierce competitors playing their hearts out, captivating the nation while they're still in college. My biggest accomplishment in college was getting a single dorm because of my IBS. Hey, if there was a sock on the door, it was an especially bad night. Point is, it feels like women's basketball is having a moment this year, and you can tell by how much the media can't stop talking about how they're talking about it.
What a great thing for women's sports that we care. We're talking about it tonight on CNN because people are caring, and ultimately that is good. We care.
The fact that we're talking about women's basketball and any, women's sports in general, I mean, this is really great.
I freaking love it.
It's really great.
I've done this for 32 years. I've never once spent 5 minutes of any show I've ever done anywhere talking about a great women's game last night at any level.
Okay, that might say more about you, but we'll take the win. We'll take it. That's right. People are excited about women's basketball right now. They're discovering it like it's the first time your mom tried sushi. Oh, my God. Have you heard about this? Spread the word. But everyone is raving. Everyone. Even Shaquille O'Neal said women's basketball this year is a better game than men's basketball. Yeah, and he's like the most famous men's basketball player. That's like Chef Boyardee telling you he only eats SpaghettiOs now. SpaghettiOs, the official food of clinical depression. SpaghettiOs. Want to hurt an Italian person's feelings? Try SpaghettiOs. One more. SpaghettiOs. You don't have to love your kids. Anyway, think about how far women's basketball has come. 10 years ago, if you went to a bar on a Monday night to watch women's basketball, it was because you were an alcoholic. But today, if you're at a bar on a Monday night, it's because you're an alcoholic who also wants to watch women's basketball. That is progress. So this has been a hugely successful college tournament for the women, even despite some obstacles.
In the women's tournament, controversy is brewing after 4 games were played on a court in Portland, Oregon, where the three-point line was about 6 inches closer to the hoop on one side. The error was discovered before North Carolina played Texas in the Elite Eight. Both teams' coaches decided to go ahead with the game to not delay the tournament.
Okay, I really relate to this as a woman. It is so classic for someone else to up, and we're like, oh, the line is messed up? It's fine. We'll just go ahead and play 4 games. You can fix it later. Or not. Whatever. I'm sorry. But what exactly happened with the three-point line? To get more on this, we go live to Josh Johnson at the arena. What happened down there? The line was several inches too short. That's a huge error.
Well, Desi, I talked to the director of court maintenance who made the mistake, as well as several other men who were just around, and we all agreed that your length being a few inches shorter than everyone was expecting is no big deal. No story here. Back to you.
True. Having the line be that short makes an enormous difference.
Enormous is a little mean. Plus, it's not about the length of the line. It's about how you play the game, okay? And I think we can all agree it was a pretty good game. You know, it was good for me. I enjoyed it. And as far as the difference, the women didn't even notice, all right?
Josh, even if the women said they didn't notice, trust me, they always notice.
Okay, but let's give this line guy a break, because when I talked to him, he swore this had never happened before, okay? And we don't even know why it was too short. Maybe it was his first time, okay? Maybe he had been drinking, all right? Maybe the arena was cold.
Sorry, how does being cold make a difference?
It just does, okay?
Wow, you seem pretty worked up about this. Why don't we move past the length of the line?
Thank you.
Let's talk about the curve, because the curve was weird.
All right, Desi, I'm out. This is why I only play basketball by myself, okay?